13 is the occupancy tax. Got it?
Yep.
There it is. Got it. Thank you, commissioners. Item 13, this is resolution number 47 in your packet. This involves the distribution of transient occupancy tax residual and a process for doing that. The resolution before you recognizes that we are entering into and anticipate entering into a new common plan of finance with the city of Cincinnati, Visit Cincy in the northern communities as it relates to the transformation of the convention district. The county levies a transient occupancy tax or hotel motel tax, which goes to fund the infrastructure development of our convention center and our convention infrastructure. So as those dollars are used, as those tax revenues are used for paying debt service associated with that infrastructure and for marketing and promotion of that infrastructure, at the end of the day, there is always a little bit of money left. And we've worked with the city of Cincinnati, we've worked with Visit Cincy in the northern communities to develop a strategy and a plan for how those dollars are used. And as is always the case, there will be a portion of those dollars that at the end of the day falls to what we call residual transient occupancy tax. And there's a portion of that that is entirely at the discretion of the county. So the resolution before you today is policy direction and guidance as to how this will be implemented in the future and how those residual dollars will be allocated in the future. And the way it currently reads is that the first $350,000 of that the residual tax revenue would go for maintenance costs at the Black Music Walk of Fame, with the remainder of those operations being funded from parking operations. The next $350,000 for marketing efforts at Visit Cincy. Thereafter, there would be a 50-50 split until each entity receives $500,000. After that time, the board will discuss the highest and best use for additional allocations. So, commissioners, this is ultimately a policy decision of the board. Madam President, I'll turn it back to you for discussion. Happy to answer any questions if I can.
Thank you very much. I will start off because I know this is one that I was pushing for. We all had things we're pushing for in this budget. And I'm very disappointed on this component of the budget. On the Ohio banks, everything down there, we're doing 20-year plus deals. And so when the Walk of Fame was built, it was the only equity project that we were building. We weren't building the Freedom Center. I was on council when we did that. And now we've got a Black Music Walk of Fame out of 198 acres. We're only getting a half an acre. And we built it, and the question was, how would you sustain it? And it's always been a struggle from, this project. And the thing that bothers me, and I've been fighting for this my entire life, and it doesn't mean everybody that, fights for this, but this is what I fight for. One set of rules. One set of rules. Now, I came with a sustainable model in a restricted fund that will continue to have this funded whether I'm here or not. Just like now, we just went along with $39 million, voting on something we wasn't even around, but we said we going with it. But when it comes to the African-American community, we always want to give it. First of all, it's super hard to get something passed. We were only doing $1,400, and we said when we were doing our best, we had a study. $1,400 out of $16 million, that was just one quarter. We've got we're going to do $30 million for the fans that we go over there, and that's forever. We pay them, it's a forever deal. When it comes to the African-American community, we can never get a forever except forever paying taxes without getting something really back for it. Now let's talk about this TOT, something that I helped create when I was on city council to help expand the convention centers. When you look at the Cincinnati Music Festival, now it's not African-American owned, but the audience is 98% African-American. And when they come to town, the hotels go up triple and quadruple. You can check the rates. This is not a one-time thing. It's every single year. Sometimes they even start saying you only can have 2 towels. Come in, we can't change the sheets. But the African Americans come year after year after year. And so last year, just alone, we brought in $9.6 million just that weekend for hotel and not treated at the highest level. There was one time a bus came in and they locked the bathrooms and told them you couldn't check in to 4 o'clock. This is the stuff they got to go through. So now we got the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. We built it. And so what I'm saying, in this tot, we got $9.6 million coming in from black folks that goes in this tot, and that was a down year for the festival. Now they got, some entertainment. The people, last year they weren't happy with the lineup. With an unhappy lineup, we did $9.6 million. What are we going to do when the people get happy? They claim they like this lineup now. So we get this money and we put it in, and it goes to what? Garages. It goes to the CVB. It goes to convention center expansions, but not one dime specific to the African American community. So the only thing I asked, I said, let's don't do the general fund. Let's get it from a restricted fund. Let's get it from the audiences that are coming to town. Let's get it from that. I said, Mr. Ludo said, well, if we do it from there, it'll take up all the money and we won't be able to do other things. I said, wow, that's a good point. Maybe we leave 50% if we got to do something out in Sharonville, if we got to do something somewhere else. So now that I put that on the table, then all of a sudden here comes the Convention and Visitors Bureau. The same group that gets $8 million from this fund got $11 million in reserve, and then voluntarily said, we'll give up $3 million for the convention center expansion. So you voluntarily did that. And in the paperwork, we said we will even pay you back for the $3 million you put in. So the only thing I asked for this little half an acre out of 198 acres, by the way, where African Americans lived, it was called Bucktown, and you can't find Bucktown nowhere. It got ran out of there when we came in terms of the county before we got here. We built garages and said we can have stadiums. So the stadiums come in and get a 20-year deal. The people working on the banks get a lifetime deal. And we got the tape because I asked Phil, I said, is it forever? He said, as long as we're developing on the banks. And I asked, hey, can we make a change? And the response I had from right here was that we want to keep consistency. We can get the tape. I didn't have time. I just didn't know. They took me all the way up to the last 5 minutes and then said, no, we can't do it. We can't do this Black Music Walk of Fame unless we do the Convention and Visitors Bureau. That's already getting $8 million. Already got $11 million in the bank, in reserve. Voluntarily said it won't hurt us. We're going to put up $3 million. But now when African American Project come, we got to find something else. And there was no interest in trying to work with me on it. This one little half acre. But we just went $39 million for a 20-year deal. And he just got some people who's going to get the contract that's always had contract. So the only thing I asked was not to take the whole thing, but take 50%. And they said, well, we want to put a cap on it. We're going to put $500,000 cap. You ain't never gave nothing to African Americans. You're down here at $1,400 out of $16 million, and nobody said anything. So now we come with this, and I'm saying, let's make it where it's not coming from. We ain't taking it from the property taxes. We ain't taking it from the sales tax. Take it from the tax of the people that's coming to town. But you want their money to go to something else, like you've been doing for years. They've been having a $107 million impact for years. And we've been taking that money, it's almost like how the veterans feel, taking that money and putting it to somebody else. Now, I'm not happy about it. And I might lose in here today. But I'm going to tell everybody because there's a lot of people came down there, and one of the things they said, they ain't going to let us have nothing down here. I want something when I'm going. We just got here, and we doing something when the people was here is gone. We want something permanent. We want something permanent. But bringing in $9.6 million and you want to cap it at $500,000? Come on now. Do the math. Take the calculator out. Get your percentages together. So we build something and then no sustainable model. In 10 years, no, that ain't good enough because you just gave the Bengals 20 and you're going to give them another 20. You gave the Reds 20, you're going to give them another 20. We got a garage down over the Rhine. It's forever. $30 million forever. Costs more than the Walk of Fame. We got a tailgate space we getting ready to do. We done paid those people and some of the money and they ain't even left yet. So I didn't want to go there. And people can challenge me, and this is for operations only. And I had to go out and get private money for the stars. And now you only say, well, we only going to get the black community 10 years. Come on, man. This is outrageous. This is outrageous. And then when you come with something, it's permanent. It's 20 years. It's 40 years. You ain't doing no 10-year deals on this other stuff. We ain't got a 10-year deal on the garage and over the Rhine. That ain't a 10-year deal. We ain't got a 10-year deal on the garage on the banks. That ain't a 10-year deal. And then for the Convention and Visitor Bureau, one of your top events, you want to come in and slice your own wrist. The people that's been bringing people year after year after year after year. How many more $9.6 million was brought in? So that's why I said it's got to be one set of rules. Even with the homeowners, there's one set of rules. I come with the homeowners, we can't do nothing. We go with the banks, well, we got to do something. Come on, we got to move to one set of rules. Now, I'm not going to be popular, and I don't mean to be, but I'm going to tell everybody that was down there, everybody in the community, everybody, why did the African-American, and this is not just for African-Americans, we got so many people coming down, they're coming in from everywhere. China, they're coming from out of town, white, black, old, everything, positive, free events, free. We done got all this national media of what we've got going on here. And even with that, you come back to me and tell me we can't give you but 10 years. And by the way, only up to $500,000. That's a slap in the face. Not to me, to them thousands of people. So I wanted something that would have a permanent, sustainable model. As the fund grows, it grows because you're going to have new technology at some point. You're going to have to come in with new technology. It won't be just dusting and sweeping. You're going to have some new technology you're going to have to bring in. This thing goes through all the seasons, even when it's the winter. We ain't even been through a winter yet. So I was disappointed because all of us have been negotiating and everything, and then I come in, and as soon as I show up, well, we got to have a CVB. As soon as I show up, well, we got to put a cap on your stuff, and everybody else's stuff I'm going with. Y'all getting full-time people in perpetuity as long as they want to stay. And this one thing we're saying, and I even said, okay, if you want to have the CVB, fine, but we don't need to cap the Black Music Walk of Fame because we don't know if we're going to have to bring new stuff. And I don't want to depend on the next. I don't want to do like the Bengals situation did the homeowners. They get a contract forever, and the people get a, well, if we have. You see how that has happened. So I want my stuff in writing. And I'm very upset about this. Not because of me. All these people that's been left out, left behind, ain't had nothing going for them. Down on the banks, not one black-owned business. Come on. And all they ask for is, hey, as more people come, it helps with the Walk of Fame. So I'm not happy with this. And everybody said that, and then ran down, let me go get 2 votes so we can outvote you, Alicia Reece. I'm telling the truth. I've been holding back. but I'm telling the truth, ran past me to get 2 votes to be against me. First thing they do, let me go get 2 votes. And I thought we were trying to negotiate and work together. But the final seconds, I'm down there with the holiday party, the final seconds, I got to run to the hallway. Well, we just can't do it. Just do 10 years. It's our board. I want every board. I don't care who the board, I'm sorry. I don't care who the board is. This should be done just like the Bengals contract. It didn't matter who the board was for 20 years. You had to do it. And so that's where I was at the holiday cheer in spirit, but now I'm not, because I just think it's a slap in the face to so many people, this community, and we're not getting the equal deal that everybody else is. I'm not stopping CVB or whatever they want to get, but on the other side, I don't feel like it should be. How are we going to cap it? We ain't even been through a whole year yet. We capping it. He ain't even been through winter yet. And I'm trying to do it with the people that are not from here, but who are in these hotel stays, who came for that particular weekend possibly, and getting some of that back. If I went in there and asked for 10% of $9.6 million, I would have got more. I'm not even asking for the 10%. So that's where I am. I can't go to the administrator because this is a thing of us, of the board. But I just feel very, very disrespected on behalf of the citizens that I represent, who would like to make sure that this thing is going to be permanent like everything else down on the banks. So with that, I will open it up.
Well, thank you. I must say I feel like your interpretation of our budget negotiations is certainly not mine, as our staffs have been together for the last few days negotiating a multitude of things, and we all agreed, and we have a budget in front of us. So that is simply not a fair characterization of how we have behaved during the budget negotiations. Secondly, I agree that we have built the Black Music Walk of Fame down on the banks, and we are obligated to maintain it. We have to maintain it. We have no choice but to maintain it. So the question is, what funds do you use to maintain it? Because it's $1 million a year to maintain this facility. And so there was an offer or a recommendation, I don't even remember how long ago it was, but there was this idea that we take it from 2 different funds, one being the TOT, the Transient Occupancy Tax, which is what you've been referring to, and the other one is the parking operations down on the banks. Both of them relevant to the Black Walk of Fame. Both of them could be used, and so the idea was to use both of them because there's both of them fluctuate a little bit, but the TOT fluctuates the most. And so we had an idea to fund at least $350,000 out of the TOT, and then split some of the TOT with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is the organization that promotes conventions and activities and economic development stuff that create room nights in the county. And so that organization has traditionally been funded through the TOT. They have given some money back in order to make the convention center stack work, but that's not to say that they had that money necessarily to give. They are struggling, and they will be struggling to maintain as the convention center goes down for a number of months, and not a lot of revenue will be coming in. So we have to recognize the economic dynamics. So the idea was to make sure the Black Walk of Fame got the first $350,000, because that is part of the stack for maintaining the Black Walk of Fame, and then we would take another $350 whenever we got there, and that would go to the CVB. And then up to $1 million in that fund, that's $700,000. So the remainder, up to $1 million, we'd split 50-50. And then after that, have a conversation about, and this would be a conversation we would obviously have down the road in a number of years, to talk about how that fund would be distributed. But the idea is that whatever is not funded in the TOT is funded in the parking operations, so that the Black Music Walk of Fame will continue to be fully funded. So I don't understand, nor I just don't recognize the argument that we are not maintaining the Black Music Walk of Fame, because I will speak for myself, I will not speak for my colleagues. I am committed to that. There are two funding sources that will provide for that. And so I just struggle with the idea that this commission's not dedicated to always fully funding a community asset that we all participated in and we all agreed to. I, for one, am not interested in having any assets that we have built, whether it's during our tenure or somebody else's, lay waste. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. And so I just want to be clear that I will be supporting maintaining the Black Music Walk of Fame from these two different funds. And I will be happy to provide for the funding that's necessary. My understanding, it's about $1 million. I don't know if that will fluctuate in the future, but that's what I'm committed to doing.
Well, I want to clarify a couple things, because that sounds good, what you were saying, but that's not totally the picture. When the Bengals got the stadiums, there was a different commission here. I'm not interested in just this board supporting, because this board is setting up things for future boards to support. And I'm interested in having a sustainable lifetime model, no matter who the board is, if I'm not sitting up here. And we don't get that, particularly with African American projects. We always get temporary situations. And so my position is, if we can go $30 million for a tailgate space that's going to be permanent, why can't we get something? We're going to do a bingo. We're doing the Bengals deals and the Reds deals on things that, no matter if we're here or not. We're doing the FC parking, no matter if we're here or not. Why can't we get that for the Walk of Fame? Now, let me tell you about the negotiations, because you always mention my staff. And I want to tell you that my staff works very, very hard. We thought we had a deal. Well, we came in and said, we're going to compromise and not take the full 100% of the tot. We'll only take 50% of the tot. We thought we had a deal. I'm in the bed. I ain't had no rest. That's why I'm upset. I've been up all night, back and forth with my aide who's been talking to your people. We walk in here today, we say, no, we got a cap on $1 million. The cap was never there. Now we got a cap with 500,000. The cap wasn't there, so I'm down here hosting the holiday party and got to run in the hallway, and then he's got to run in, and we got presentations. Commissioner Dumas had a presentation, and then the next thing we know, it's changed. The deal was it was going to come from the tot. I was going to compromise 50% for CVB, but no cap on the Black Music Walk of Fame. I'm not interested in 10 years. I'm not interested if it's just this board sitting around here. I want the same deal that we're doing for these other projects that don't matter who's up here. It's already funded. And we're looking at using the TOT, which is the tourism dollars. And even if I could have went in and said, give me 10% of what they brought last year. They brought in 9.6 million. 98% African American audience. Like I said, just give me 10% of what's on there. But I didn't. So I want to be clear. The negotiations went down when every time I bring something, you want to tweak it and change it, and you've got to have this. And this was disrespectful to the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. Now, your stuff, you brought it. I didn't tweak it. I'm either for it or I ain't against it. I didn't come in here today 5 minutes before the meeting and try to change your stuff. But this is gonna get out. I'm not gonna keep taking this mess. We had a deal, and the deal was the 50%. All the chiefs of staff was there. I don't know exactly if Dumas was a part of it. We took it. I mean, if she was agreeing upon it, but we're taking it back because I had said, yeah, I want to be workable. I don't really believe the CVB should get it, but I'll be workable. So then you came with the CVB. Now you done brought the CVB in on the Black Music Walk of Fame a program versus a actual entity. And then I said, well, I'll still work with you. But now down to 12:55, and he already done wrote the resolution. And everybody done went. And then your office runs down, I'm going to get 2 votes on you. I mean, come on. The truth got to be told, and I'm going to tell the truth. We could have had a pleasant budget if you would have not came in and tried to cap the Black Music Walk of Fame. We're saying as it grows, as they bring more people, it goes to the Walk of Fame. It says that whether you're here, I'm here, Dumas here, or the next group is here, It keeps the Walk of Fame permanent. Now, I'm not going to play no games with this. I'll play some games with a couple of your little things, but we ain't playing no games with this. If you wouldn't have touched it, it wasn't Dumas' office was not the one that came in and said she wanted to cap it. Now, maybe she agreed, but she wasn't the one presented it. And I didn't get the presentation till I'm down here serving everybody food and eating and having a good time. I couldn't even have a good time because I got to go out of the office. You don't know what you're going to do. We down to 12:55, and I don't know, y'all. Sometimes y'all act like Jeff Aludo is the next commissioner. I ain't the commissioner. He's the commissioner. He done already got it typed up. Now, come on. Don't talk about my staff. I know exactly what he's saying because I'm telling him what to say. And I was up all night. We have had no rest. And to come in here at the last minute, and it doesn't even mean that much, to cap off the Black Music Walk of Fame. I want somewhere they ain't got to come back to this commission. It is already in there, and it's automatic, and it can keep growing. That's where we got the difference. So don't come in here and try to like, oh, we trying to work together. No, I take it as a stab in the back. If I come in here at 12:55 and y'all don't come in and talk about now, and you already got the resolution typed up. How'd you type up that quick? At 12:55, I got the information. Well, we got the 2 votes. We gonna cap it off. If I'd have had it, I had this place packed with the Black Music Walk of Fame, and to let them see face to face who the people who ain't really for them. I don't want a 10-year deal. We want a permanent deal.
So out of line, Commissioner.
No, you're out of line. What you just did at 12:55, and we meet at 1 o'clock.
So there has been a cap discussed over a number of days. I don't know why that hasn't been translated.
No, it was translated last night.
And my staff,
and it wasn't your staff was told your staff on the cap, your staff, because you want to joke about your staff, my staff on this cap. We had a deal not on the cap. We had a deal on the 50-50. You come back and he said, I got to wait for her. She went to bed. I got to wait for her. She's in her office. You in your office and come back. She's not going for it. And then he ran down the hall and then came back to Dumas' office and then said, we got it.
Okay.
No, we need to tell the truth.
Okay.
Because this
All
is
right.
some real stuff.
Okay, so that is not the real stuff. And and remember, the idea of the cap is when the Black Walk of Fame is at 500,000 and the CVB is at 500,000, we need to evaluate not only the Black Music Walk of Fame, but the CVB, because there is this money, and the Black Music Walk of Fame, the remainder, no matter what it is going to be picked up under the parking operations. The CVB, though, is part of that too, and by the time we reach $1 million, we might have other priorities that we want to fund as a commission. And again, this is a number of years down the road, but I take great offense to the way you characterize these negotiations. I don't generally tell people when I'm in bed, by the way, so I really don't appreciate you making this personal. But, negotiations are difficult. Well, we are fully
Let me be clear. It's not personal. You always talk about not personal, but it must be personal that you couldn't do 50-50. You brought in the
It is 50-50.
Bureau.
It is 50-50.
I brought up what your staff told us because you bringing up my staff. Now, let me just be clear. You always try to act like you're the one, that I was the one compromising. I came in here and said, listen, the Black Music Walk of Fame, I want to go restricted funds so it doesn't take out of people's pockets. No property tax.
And we've done that.
And I came up with that. But then Jeff came back and said we can't use all of it. He didn't say we can't. If we used all of it, we couldn't do other projects. So I came back and said, okay, well, let's just do 50%. Then you came in and brought in the CVB, who has $8 million a year, $11 million in their reserve. And you came in and said CVB, and I said, oh, man, I don't know about that because they got a lot of money. And what about these other projects? But, okay, I'm going to be compromising. Let's go with that. So I thought that was the end of it. That wasn't enough. No, you had to come in, and now you want to cap the Black Music Walk of Fame. If you want to cap CVB,
the cap was always part of the conversation.
It was never part of the conversation.
Okay, well, I don't.
That's why I don't like them behind the scenes.
Well, we're not able to sit together and have this conversation.
Well, I'm putting it out in the public now. Why would you cap the Black Music Walk of Fame, and that's the funding source? What do you have against the Black Music Walk of Fame getting a 20 and a lifetime deal like these other entities?
There is a lifetime deal because the other fund will pick up the remainder. It is going to be fully funded. I'm committed to that. I mean, we did this together, and so I am fully committed to maintaining the Black Walk of Fame to whatever degree it needs to be funded through these two funds. And when one fund doesn't, and the first fund, the TOT at 350 isn't going to be near enough to cover the maintenance of the Black Music Walk of Fame, we're going to have to go to the parking operations for I don't know how many years. So it will be fully funded. It's just a matter of which fund it comes out of.
Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you. Just a few comments. I was thinking about what a great opportunity the Black Music Walk of Fame is. That when you came to the board, you brought up the fact that it was a great idea, and I still agree that it's a great idea. It's a beautiful area. It's not a Black project, but it's a Hamilton County project that exposes Black musicians. And as we know, people come from all over. I hear about it's going to get out. It's going to get out, and that's great. We're the mouthpiece of the people. But I just want to make sure that when things get out and we tell the truth, and we tell nothing but the total truth. And what I mean by that, we had a half an acre to work with. That's all we had. So we built this beautiful Black Walk of Fame. We got together and we said on this resolution, $350,000 was going to go toward maintenance of the Black Music Walk of Fame. That's not a drop in the bucket. $350,000 is not a drop in the bucket. The suggestion was made by you, Madam Chair, that we look at the TOT. We said, okay, let's do it, and we did it. There's a lot of great things that came out of this, and I can understand the passion of both of you, and you want not to have a cap and all of that, but I'm thinking about all the great things that have come out of it. Yeah, the $500,000 cap, we don't know, that may not be enough, but as was said earlier, we're going to have to discuss it and look at additional funding if necessary for both the Cincinnati Visitors Bureau and the Black Walk of Fame. And as we develop the Walk of Fame, even though this money is for maintenance, we may need more. I'm in agreement with a cap for both, and that we assess how much more money we need. So when we go out and we tell the truth, we need to let people know $350,000 will be going toward the maintenance of the Black Walk of Fame, and it is not temporary. It's a permanent fixture that will be taken care of. And then I heard something a while ago during this discussion that people get together and vote against people. And I just want to let the people know I don't vote against people. I vote for or against issues. So that is not in my MO. That's not how I do it, and that is not how it's done. I look at the issue, I look at the project, and in my best ability to make a decision what I think is best for the county. And as I said, there is no limit. It goes up to $500,000, but if we realize that, man, we need new electronics or new whatever we need down there new, we'll be able to do it. And I heard the argument about, well, that's good because we're here. But when the other commissioners come, and they would be a little out of their mind to have such a beautiful fixture down there and let it be down there rusting or not changing the screens and all of that. But I'm in agreement with $350,000 for maintenance for the Walk of Fame, and then putting the cap on it for both entities, and then move forward. And as we need more, if we need more, that we vote on that at that time.
I wanted to highlight, I appreciate the $350,000, but you also given, and it's almost like sometimes with African American, we're doing $350,000. We do $2 million for the Port Authority every budget, including this one that's going to be coming up. So when you look at that just so you understand, we're doing $30 million for garages. We did $71 million for garages down on the banks. So we started looking at those numbers. $350,000, we just voted for $39 million, just today. $39 million. For what? Upgrades of the stadium. And that wasn't the tearing down the stadium. That's just putting in some seats and dusting and doing some AV work. We did 39 million. There, nobody jumped up and said we got to put a cap on it. We need to go lower. But when it comes to, we got to get our mindsets. That's where I'm at. My mindset is different. I want one set of rules. And we came down here, you want to put a cap on the Black Music Walk of Fame and say, come back to us. We did not put a cap on the Bengals. We put $39 million just, and that don't include all the other stuff we vote on every week. And nobody said nothing about we need to cap them. In fact, they were praised. We were praising it. Oh, $39 million for upgrades. And so I am going to speak out. We are going to tell the truth, but we're going to run these numbers. $350,000 by itself sound like a lot. But when you put it to $39 million we just did for some upkeep over at the Bengals Stadium, and you look at $71 million for garages, and you look at $200 million out of the same fund we're getting ready to do some upgrades at Convention Center, I mean, come on now. And I don't know why it was, and the thing is, I don't think it's personal. What's personal is I'm here for the people, and they think it's personal. They think it's personal. Why can't we get one set of rules? So when I come in, I'm arguing for them because all of us get the same checks, no matter what we do. We come in here, we get the same check. So it's not hurting me because we all got the same check. What's hurting is I can't sit down here and see $39 million just a few minutes ago with all the TV cameras here for upgrades of the Bengals, and that's not even with the lease. And that's not the real big stuff that's got to get fixed. And then we're going to look at the Walk of Fame. And the reason we did $39 million with the Bengals, because they have a contract. They didn't have to come to, they're not begging. They got, at the end of the day, they can go to court. They got a contract. And so what we don't have for the homeowners is a contract. So that means all of us who weren't here at that time, we get to look at it, well, I don't think we have enough. I can't go 30, let's go 12. I don't want another group doing that to the Black Music Walk of Fame. I want it equal in writing. But here we are comparing the Black Music Walk of Fame to Convention Visitors Bureau. That's a program, and believe me, I was the deputy director of tourism, so I'm all for tourism. But they got $8 million every year. They get $11 million in the reserve, and we're gonna penalize the Black Music Walk of Fame because we don't want them to go too high. But we didn't do it with $39 million. I can't even have that conversation. $350,000, y'all should be thankful. $39 million, go ahead. So that's where I get frustrated, and I just don't understand something as simple. I asked for a simple request. I said, hey, can we get it out of the tide? Minimum 350. That ain't the maximum. Minimum 350. And as more people come, like the festival, we can go up. CBB, I'm willing to compromise. I really don't think they should be in there because they got $11 million in reserve. They got $8 million a year. They're going to give away $3 million. They're going to get it repaid. But I'm willing to go along with it. But why the Black Music Walk of Fame got to get capped now? And come back to us. And come back. It might not be no us in 10, 20 years. I want the next us. That when they come in, I want it to be just like the Bengals. You tied to the contract. Because they'll say, well, we weren't here. I don't know what Reece said. I don't know what Dumas said. I don't know what Driehaus said. So that's why I'm trying to do that. And we're getting ready to vote on $200 million for the Convention Center out of there. And that's going to be lifetime of paying it back or what have you. So we got $200 million there. Why can't we have something that doesn't have the cap on it? So now we know that this is a permanent, it's not the only stream, because as you indicated, there's others. But if we do better, if we get more people, then the Walk of Fame, you don't have to worry about it. It is funded, and we can move to something else. That's what. So we don't have this again. I don't want to do this again. See, every time we do something, I got to do this again, and we got to go back and forth. But when we vote for stuff in the budget for some of the other things, I don't got to see you no more. We ain't gonna see them no more with that $39 million. They gone. I want something that I don't want to do this no more. I want to have my negotiation like y'all. Once it's done, it can move on. And that's what I was trying to do.
I had just a couple more
Yes,
comments.
Commissioner.
I don't think we can compare the Black Walk of Fame cost for maintenance. We can't compare it to the stadium, a huge stadium, the 30 million or more that we have to put in. So we're comparing, to me, apples and oranges. We really don't know what the maintenance cost will be. So because of that, I think we need to put in some money and then assess it. And I just want to make it clear, because I'm black too, if anybody didn't notice. I would not care if it was a white Walk of Fame. And we were asking for money. And I would say at the same time, for me, I would put a cap on it. And so it has nothing to do with black folks and black projects, and all. It doesn't. I'm not going there, and other people can go there. It's a Hamilton County project that should have happened long time ago. But my opinion is that we need to cap until we assess what we're doing and what is needed. And we can't compare a Black Walk of Fame to the renovation of a complete stadium. That's all.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that I'm not talking about the color we are. I'm talking about a mindset, and the mindset.
You're talking about what?
I'm talking about a mindset, not aesthetics. But what I'm saying is, when we have these projects, I'm different. Maybe I come out of civil rights. I've
Me
been
too.
fighting for civil rights and equal rights, and when I don't see one set of rules, yes, it's not the same in terms of money, but it's the same in terms of the entity. We are Hamilton County, we're funding both. It's not the same in terms of size, but it is the same in terms of the process. We had to vote on the money for that as well. I'm trying to make a sustainable model so we don't have to come and take the stuff out of the general fund. That's what I'm trying to do. And I'm saying we got to look, demographics do matter. Demographics does matter. And when we look at because anybody else would come down with their numbers. When you look at just one thing that comes every year, and it brought in $9.6 million last year, we can't ignore that. We just can't ignore it. And that's so I'm everybody has their own journeys. And my journeys has always been fighting for one set of rules. I've been doing it since I was 7 years old. I've been doing it. I've been doing it as the president of the Ohio Legislative Black Caucus. I've been doing it. I've been doing it down at Grambling State, HBCU. I've been doing it. And I'm talking about one set of rules. We had the same process. It's not the same amount, but one needs fix up. The other one's going to need fix up. We approved one for $39 million, and we said it was a wonderful thing. We come up here, we want to put a cap on something. And I just don't understand why. Why does this have to have a cap? Yes, CBB got a cap because they already getting $8 million. They already got $11 million. You capping just this little part. They're not getting capped over on the $200 million to get a convention center. They're getting a lot of other things. And I'm just saying we collect diverse taxes. And it's time that these taxes come back to the people that's putting the taxes out there. No more, excuses. And I'm going beyond us. I want this thing should be around way beyond our time and grow and be bigger. But I don't want to put it on the next commission. I want to put it in place now, like the last commission put in place now for the stadium. So that's where I'm coming from. And the passion I got ain't my passion. It's the passion of people out here in the streets, the citizens. And it's not just African Americans. I've been fighting for homeowners the same way. And I get resistance. I've been fighting for veterans in the same way. I'm getting resistance. So it's not about black or white, whether you're in the military, whether you're a music artist. I'm going to fight for what I think is right. And I came down here to do it different. And that's, I thought I found a funding source. And, now I get challenged on the funding source. When y'all find funding sources, I typically go along with it. And that's where we have a problem. I'm not here to say no personal stuff. And if it was personal, I wouldn't care. I'm not down here for BFFs. I'm down here to get some stuff done for the people. So I'm not here about the personal, what you feel about me. But I just didn't understand. I thought we were good until 12:55. So that's my argument.
So, in light of some of what's been said, it does remind me that this funding for the Black Music Walk of Fame is a new item. And so, because it occurs to me as we talk about different things that prior commissions have done and things that this commission has done, and when suggested that we take some of the funding for the maintenance of Black Music Walk of Fame out of the TOT, we said yes. When it was suggested to be 50%, we said yes. We put a cap on it so we can review it after $1 million are in that fund for both the CVB and the Black Music Walk of Fame to evaluate. So, we've said yes to this idea, and we're going to pick up the rest of the cost somewhere else. So, we can revisit this as we go. I think, the TOT is an appropriate source, and that's where part of the funding's coming from. So with that, I'm going to move that we approve of by leave number 13.
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Reece?
Yep.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.